Hi there. Perfect. I think we've got the first ones in. Amazing. Hi. I'm blind as a fish, so I can really read the chat from over here. I'm gonna cook dinner and test out a new gadget. God, I really wish I could read the chat. Anyway, hi. I'm gonna cook kuru fasulye, Turkish dish, and test out a new gadget. This guy, pressure cooker. So most of you will probably know it. If you don't, pressure cookers work in a way that they build pressure inside and then release excess pressure over this piece here. So it releases steam quite violently. Many are afraid of them, but they can actually do magic things. They can cook chickpeas in 7 minutes, soaked chickpeas, but they're still uncooked. So pretty cool. I'm gonna check this one out, and with a really, really easy Turkish dish. First live, so I'm gonna try to make this a little bit more exciting in the next round because I don't have any sort of moderation. I can see people are joining, which is really fun, and I will try to, in a moment, go through the chat and answer any questions if you guys wanna ask anything. But for now, I'll just start cooking. So and talk you through it. Basically, kuru fasulye is a really fun Turkish dish that I discovered in Istanbul. It is the national dish of Turkey. Pretty crazy, really simple to make at home. But many wouldn't think that the national dish of Turkey happens to be vegan. But it does. Pretty wicked. It is also made with lamb, I have to say that is an option. But there is a version that's very popular and very common that is made without meat. So traditionally vegan, and it's a really fiery bean stew. Starts with 2 onions, loads of beans. I'm just gonna chop up these onions first. And the nice thing is you don't have to do any fine chopping. You just peel these guys. Always good to have a little garbage bowl nearby. Peel these guys, and then you roughly chop them, put them in your pan, which I'm gonna preheat over here with a bit of oil. Right. And then you're off. That's it. So, honestly, such a simple dish. And you eat it with rice, pilaf. And then I really hope there's somebody Turkish in watching right now to back me up in the chat to say you know this dish. But you eat it with pilaf and turşu. Turşu is fermented veg, basically. Pretty cool. So when you walk through Istanbul, you see all these shops selling fermented vegetables. Insane. It's like little probiotic bars. You just go in, have a cup of turşu, filled with probiotics, filled with good bacteria, good for your gut, and then you go on with your day. But it's known as a hangover cure. It's pretty wild. It's pretty tasty. You can have it spicy, you can have it mild. Really, really good. So I'm just gonna peel these onions. And then, 1 second, just grabbing something. Right, I'm just gonna peel these onions and then basically assemble the rest of the dish, which is really easy, but it has a few really fun components. So, fiery bean stew, it's made with loads of tomato paste, a Turkish pepper paste, and usually chilies as well. And then, what else is in there? I'm using a green pepper today. Usually you would use these long Turkish peppers, these long green peppers that you would get at like at a Turkish grill. You've seen those on the grill probably. So yeah, what's fun about this one? No fine dicing, no fine chopping. You just peel your onions, get rid of any skin, and then literally just do a couple of slices here, like so. And then just chop it up. Really no rocket science. And then you've got your pressure cooker, so you can't see it here. I've got it here next to me on the hob. You get that nicely heated. But what I'm really excited about today is to try out that pressure cooker. So that's why I put it in the caption. It is a thing of beauty if it works. It is honestly absolutely magical because everybody talks about having too little time, too little money. So what can you do? Yeah, of course you can open a jar of beans, and of course you can like buy food that's sort of ready-ish made. But with a pressure cooker, you can reduce cooking times by 70%, 70. Crazy, honestly insane. I've been using it for a while, but I've been using a different one. And that one was a bit more sort of modern, techie. And now I'm trying a very rustic one, just so I have a good one to recommend to anyone who's like reading recipes on my website, etc. And wants to give it a go. Oh God, it will never, honestly, chopping an onion, tears are incoming. It will never spare you. Anyway, so one onion done. I'm missing one onion and a half. Did I do two already? Did that drop? Anyway, okay. So one onion done, 1.5 onions done, second one on the way. So that's pretty much all of your chopping done. Gonna chop the green pepper in a moment, but really no fine dicing needed. Just chop this up, get rid of the roots, and then I'm gonna move this around now so you can see what's happening and what's going in. So let me grab this board right here. Always good to have a little bit of kitchen paper underneath so it doesn't move around. And then in comes, with great applause, the pressure cooker. Here it is. Bonjour. So, this guy is getting nice. There's some oil in here. It's getting nicely heated up. Now, my favorite tool in the kitchen. Everybody needs a dough scraper. It's so good because you can just go, pick up your onions, and chuck them in there. And the sizzle begins. Magic. This is so nice. I could swear there was another onion half. Anyway, so you put your onion in here. And then we're going with some spice pastes. I say spice paste, really it's just tomato paste and pepper paste. The beans. A bit of green pepper, and that's pretty much it. So, and then I can chat a little bit more about what's happening here with the pressure cooker. So. But this is basically dinner. So by the end of this live, or no, I won't do the whole live. Don't worry, I won't bore you with me cooking the entire dinner, but by the end of it I'll have dinner done, which is quite exciting. Filmed another recipe earlier today, boza, also from Turkey. I'm so obsessed with Turkish food at the moment because I traveled there for a while. And it's pretty intense how you can have a perception of a country, but then you go there and you realize the food over there is actually really, really different to what we know. We know Turkish food as like grilled meats, cheesy desserts, or cheesy pastries like filo paste, stuffed filo pastries, buttery desserts. But actually, there's so much food that happens to be plant-based. It's just really all focused on seasonality. Along the Aegean coast in the west, you've got all these beautiful foods, traditional, natural flavors, and just cooking with olive oil. No animal products, no animal fat, olive oil, good veg, nice pastes like tomato paste and pepper paste, which I'll be using here in a moment. So whilst I was cooking, I'm actually gonna weigh that out. So let me push this. Oh, the onion is kicking on. Woo. Let me push that there. Grab a little bowl. I've got a scale here, which is hidden. And then this here is Turkish tomato paste. Whoop. Doesn't plop because it's got this beautiful little bit of plastic here. Lovely. Anyway, that is going in. $50 grams. So I always love, I completely respect cooking without measuring and like just using your eyes and senses. It's amazing, pretty cool. But I love a bit of weighing out. I love a bit of consistency because I know like, okay, 50 grams of tomato paste will give me a really good flavorsome, rich color and base. I've got 50 grams here. I don't need to adjust. I know the result will be good. So I do like weighing things out. Even the salt, it's pretty magic because once you've cooked this dish, you know how it works. You just chuck it all in together with those ratios and it's good to go. Right, so this one here as well. So this is one of the magical ingredients of Turkey, honestly. It's really frustrating that they always have this little plastic thing here. But this is biber salçası. If you go to a Middle Eastern shop, to a Turkish shop, you'll find this. Pick it up. It's pepper paste. So what you get, tomato paste, everybody knows. This is the pepper paste version. It's made from peppers, sun-dried, and then they have an achi biber salchese, which is a spicy one, and they have a tatle biber salchese, which is a mild one. Usually you would use the mild one. I have this one at home now, so I'm using this. And it adds such a good kick to your dish. I don't even mean heat, I just mean umami, flavor bomb. Similar to tomato, it's just the process of sun-drying this veg brings out such a rich flavor. Intense. Right. So, onions are sizzling away. I'm gonna get a bit of color on these. I mean, that was a really coarse chop. I felt the pressure, I felt you guys watching. So there are massive chunks in here, but it's fine. All good. Rustic is what we want. And once these guys start to get a bit of color, time for the paste. God, Jesus. Long day today. Right. It's always good. Okay, I wish I had better eyes, because I see the chat popping up there and I can't read anything. So I'll scroll through in a second. Do say hi. Let me know where you're from, let me know where you're watching from, let me know if you know Kurun Fasulia, the dish I'm cooking here. Let me know if you use a pressure cooker, which I'll be using in a moment. And that will be really exciting. Once it builds pressure, that will be the moment where I'm gonna go in hiding. Fingers crossed, hope that everything will be fine, because it builds up a lot of pressure and cooks everything inside this pot. I'm cooking some beans here later, which I've got here next to me. On the stove, you take an hour 15 in here, 5 minutes, then heat off, and you just let it cool. 5 minutes compared to 1 hour and 15 minutes. Pretty intense. What I also need is some pepper. I'm just gonna grind some fresh into my, got my little bowl here with a spice paste. So I'm just gonna grind some pepper in here. And then, what else is going in? Green pepper, paprika is going in, that's it. Gotta prep that. So I've got plenty of time. It's actually a really relaxed dish, because the onion needs around 10 minutes to get a bit of color. Half a teaspoon. I really don't like when it says a pinch of black pepper. No. Black pepper is a spice. Go in. Come on. Half a teaspoon. Give it a bit of a kick. And if you grind it with a mill like this, it takes a while. So either you use a pesto mortar or a spice grinder. Make a batch ahead. Or you just take the 30 seconds, 60 seconds to get a good amount of black pepper. And the results of the dish you will thank yourself later for what you have done. Amazing. So pepper is done, we've got the paste, onion is cooking. I'm gonna chop up the green pepper in the meantime, so I'm gonna move this away again, because I have this very exciting prospect of chopping up a green pepper for you. Thought you might want to see. But yeah, whilst the onion is sizzling, exactly, prep your veg. So green pepper, I mean, many know this trick, but you put your thumb on here, squeeze that in, tear it open, and then no seeds in here. Most of the seeds in here, that's going. And then any leftover seeds, tip them out, put them in here. So we've got our green pepper de-seeded, and then I'm just gonna do a little courtesy slice. Excellent. And then what do we want? Little chunks. I'm going to slice this like so, and then rough chunks, cubes, whatever you want to call them. Tap that down, slice this. Here's the thing, if you don't have to cook for short, there's less pressure. You can just chop it up. Wonderful. The beauty of cooking dinner. That's done. Wow. Too much time. One last thing I'm going to do, as I said earlier, I'm going to weigh out the salt. Actually, I have to look at the recipe. How much do I need? In here. 14 grams. So. Only 14 grams of salt. 14 grams. I mean, this is a really, I know if you've never done this, it's a really random number. 1 tablespoon, 14 grams of salt. Trust me. Try it out. 1 tablespoon usually gets you through most dishes when you cook for 4 people. It's a good base stock to start seasoning. So you start with this, you adjust after, but usually you don't need to. So if you have this as a starting point, it's pretty epic. 14 grams of salt. This is gonna go in soon. Onions are cooking. Nice, nice, nice. Let me give them a stir. Oh, the sound. The sound of magic. Right, so the green pepper, I'll move this back over here. Green pepper is done, we've got our salt, we've got our spice paste. I keep saying spice paste, we've got our tomato paste. Don't need the scale anymore. Actually, I do need the scale and some water. You get that. Right, I'm coming back. I'm just trying to find something to put the water in. Right. Okay. We're getting closer to the moment of truth, to the moment for which I made this live, which is the pressure cooker, right? So if you tuned in, oh god, I'm already over the water, but that's perfect. If you tuned in, the reason I wanted to quickly put this on live is I wanted to check out a new pressure cooker. If you've never used a pressure cooker before, you might have heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, it's this somewhat old artifact. Many consider it a thing of like past generations, but it's actually pretty epic. They use it in a lot of countries still. It's this thing here, and it builds pressure once you put the lid on. And because of the pressure, the food inside cooks in a fraction of the time that it would usually take to cook it. And it releases the pressure, the steam, over this little ventilation system here. So if all goes well, it builds up pressure, that little thing is going up, shows you one line, shows you a second line, which means that a certain pressure point is reached, and then it just cooks for 5 minutes, and then you just leave it. You turn off the heat, you leave it to cool, you go off, do something else, no energy needed, no gas needed, nothing needed. By that point, it's pretty much done, you just need to let it cool, and then you can remove it without releasing any pressure. That's what we want. That's what we want to check out. So, right. Just waiting for my onions here to get a nice bit of color. That is happening. So first check done. Because nothing is sticking in here. So far the pressure cooker is doing a job as a nice little pan. First box ticked. Anybody's wondering, I mean this is obviously not sponsored, but this is Kuhn, K-U-H-N, Rikon, R-I-K-O-N. That's a pressure cooker I'm using. I'm using 3.5 liters, which is for me the perfect size because you can cook for 4 people. I'm in a house, it's my girlfriend and me here, so it's 2. We're eating it for 2 days and leaving leftovers tomorrow. I love cooking for 4. This is the perfect portion because you can put enough beans in there in a moment to do exactly that. So let me see, always have to read my recipes, which is amazing. Shows how forgetful I am. So what am I doing? So cooking the onions until they are golden, looking golden. And then we are adding tomato paste, pepper paste, black pepper, and adding cooking a little bit until the oil turns red from the paste. Then add the water, amazing, add the beans, the peppers, and the salt. Green pepper, green pepper, blah 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 blah, bring to boil, then reduce the heat and simmer covered for 1. Yeah. Okay, I think it's time for the oil. While this is actually before, for the paste I mean, let me see if I can grab you. Oh, hello. God. I didn't even see how many are watching this, but I can see that quite a few are in. Thank you so much for tuning in, that's amazing. Sorry that I'm so close to the camera now, but this is what I have to do in order to be able to actually read what you're saying. People are saying hi, which is cool. Bist du Deutscher? Ich klingt, ja klar. Hallo. Ich bin Deutscher. I grew up in Germany. Ha. Here's German, yes, perfect, somebody knows. Grew up in Germany until I was 18, then left to study abroad. But I love that you guys have all figured that out in the chat. Will you do a kitchen tour? Well, this is the studio slash kitchen. This is where I film. You might recognize this if you've watched some videos on my channel. And then there's the other side, which I'll show you now, but it's not very pretty. It's very empty. So there's the nicer part to cook, to film, and then the other side is very functional at the moment. What else do we have? Turkish, yes, somebody's there. Do you recognize this dish? Kuru fasulye, hope so. Yeah, you love your pressure cooker. It's such a good gadget. Honestly, it's my favorite discovery. Wow, first live stream. It is my first live stream. Thank you for tuning in. How long have you been vegan for now? I think only 3 years. 3 years, so not that long. 3, 4 years? 3 years. Yeah, 3.5 years. Going well. 3.5 years. And I think 3 years ago I switched to I always had natural vegan diet, sort of in the sense of no substitutes, no alternatives, just natural food that is vegan. And then, but 3 years ago, really dedicated everything to finding dishes around the world that happen to be plant-based. So that is still the main focus, and I love it so much. It's honestly traveling around, seeing how many plant-based dishes are out there, tasting them, recooking them at home. Absolute passion. Somebody's watching for long already. Thank you so much. Gabanzo's actually cooking beans today, white beans. What am I cooking? Kuru fasulye, which is the national dish of Turkey. Kuru fasulye. Kuru fasulye actually means, or is the white bean, the haricot bean I'm using. These guys here. So that's the name, kuru fasulye, but the dish is named after these beans, and it's cooked with these onions, which are turning really golden now. Pepper paste, tomato paste, black pepper. I'm using some paprika. Usually you would use green peppers. Yeah. And then it's served with rice, pilaf, and turşu. You are one of my favorite. Oh, thank you so much. I've gone through the footage and confirmed you did indeed chop 4 onion hairs. Absolute legend. I didn't look it, I didn't feel it. I really appreciate the confirmation. I really thought I'd missed one. I purchased your cookbook. Thank you so much for buying one. Thank you, that is amazing. Really love the kind words about it. Guys, okay, I think I'm really slow. I think I'm trying to catch up, but I'm actually half an hour back in the chat. So I'm just gonna go back to the bottom. Thank you for your recipe. Somebody says, thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I'm gonna get my face out of this chat now. Somebody's on a keto diet, or her brother is, and the recipes help, which is amazing. Cool. Wicked. Thank you honestly, this is so much fun. Cool. Thank you. Thanks for leaving some messages in the chat. I'm gonna go back to finishing this dish. And next time I hope I have a little bit more, I'm gonna try to get a system where I can answer those messages while cooking. But okay, cool. So onions are in here. I'm gonna get to that stage which the life is about, which is building up the pressure and going in cover to see, or hiding, to see if the pressure builds properly without the lid blasting off. So tomato paste is going in, salt is going in, and I'm just gonna stir that nicely, sort of let that paste dissolve into the oil. Then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of water and the beans, and then the lid. And then it's pressure time. Pressure time. God, and it's really exciting. So for those who just joined, and for those who are already here, sorry for repeating myself, but I'm using a pressure cooker, this one for the first time. I've used a different one, different system, but this one works slightly different. It has this valve on here and it releases excess pressure, excess steam through that valve. And because I'm using it for the first time, I don't know if it's gonna work. But if it does, it's gonna cook this dish in 5 minutes. It's a bit of a cheat. 5 minutes, you then turn off the heat and you let it cool for 20 minutes. But you don't need any electricity, any gas anymore. You can also cook it for 15 minutes and it will be done, or 10, I think will be enough. And then you release the steam, but that is that moment where people like think of like a pressure cooker, oh God, it's scary, it's so much steam sprouting out. I don't want that. So there is the option, sorry, I'm not explaining it really well, but there is an option to use a pressure cooker without any steam releasing. It's really gentle, it's really fun. I'm gonna see if it works with this one. You just build the pressure, you cook it for 5 minutes, and then you just turn off the heat, and it cools off by itself. It doesn't release any pressure, it doesn't make any scary sounds, it just does its job. And by the end of it, you have a beautiful dinner. So, that's happening. So all of this is good. It's just onions, tomato paste, pepper paste. I'm going in with, oh no, that's the wrong one. Got some water over here. Going in with 600 ml. Oh, I love this sound always, right? Always gotta crank up the temperature, the heat a little bit, because water going into a nice bit of sizzling onion, tomato, and pepper paste. Wasn't as impressive as I thought it would be. But usually, if you have the heat really high, it just does this, oh, it's just, looks so beautiful. It sounds so beautiful. Anyway, here, look at this. Look at the color of this dish. Isn't that what? Oh, now that is something. Bubbles are forming here. It's already almost boiling. I just added the water. But that color is intense. But that's what you want. You want this fiery, angry broth of tomato paste, pepper paste, onions. So what else? We've got all this. Moving stuff out of the way. We've got the water in there now, so now I'm adding my beans. So these are haricot beans that I soaked overnight. I always soak beans in salted water. There's so many like different ways of doing it. That's the one that always worked for me after a lot of testing. When I was writing my book, I tested so many different ways because I wanted it to be right in the book. I wanted to know that it works every time if I put something in a book. So I tested so many different ways, with soaking, without soaking, soaking for that many hours, soaking for less or more hours. And baking soda, no baking soda, seasoning after, seasoning before, seasoning during, so many different ways. What works best for me when cooking beans, I'm using a pressure cooker now, but if you don't use this, season the soaking water, soak them from dried, if you use dried beans, soak them in salted water, then drain and rinse, then cook without salt, and then season at the end. Very simple. Soaking with seasoned water, rinsing, draining and rinsing, making it more complicated than this. Basically, you soak them in salted water, you drain them, rinse them off, and then cook them in normal water without salt, and then season them at the end. And then you get tender beans that are perfectly seasoned. They don't stay tough, they just turn wonderfully tender. Chickpeas, beans, whichever you want. I'm now adding green peppers. If you use a pressure cooker for that, it's slightly different. You still soak them in salted water. But with a pressure cooker, you can actually add the salt while cooking because the pressure cooks it so fast, it doesn't matter. So that's why I added the salt in here. I added some green peppers. I've got my beans in here. I've got the paste. I've got the salt. I think it's showtime. So this is the moment. Let me bring you closer. Let me bring you closer. This is it. So we're now gonna check out. Almost putting myself on fire here already. I'm now gonna add the lid. And it's already boiling. So actually you can already turn down the heat a little bit because it's gonna build pressure really quickly. Let me do a last check if I've got all the ingredients. And then we're testing if this pressure cooker is gonna do its job without blowing the lid off. So, do I have everything in there? I've got my water, I've got the beans in there. I've got chilies I'm not using because I'm using a spice paste. I've got green pepper instead of a Turkish pepper, that's fine. I've got, yeah, got everything. Perfect. Let's do it. God. So there's a little mark on here. Right. Let me move it. I want you to miss this. So there's a little mark on here that shows you where to put this. So basically I've cooked almost my entire dish in here. Right, lid is on. And now, I'm just gonna slide it to the left. This is it. And now in a moment, this thing here is supposed to go up and show two stripes. First stripe means certain amount of pressure, I think 0.6 bar. Second stripe means more pressure. That's the pressure I want to reach. At that moment, I'm going to regulate the heat. So now I can crank it up a bit. But at that moment, I'm gonna regulate the heat to so it doesn't build more pressure. So you avoid extra steam or extra pressure releasing. Actually, you're not gonna be so close to it because if this thing does blow up, I don't want to have it in my face. So, right, we're now waiting for the big moment. Anything could happen. We're waiting for the big moment for this little thing to go up. Usually, I mean, it's boiling already. I think it will take 2-3 minutes. And then we cook it for 4. And that's it. Not intense yet, but it could be very tense any moment. Maybe steam escapes. Maybe it's loud. Maybe it doesn't make a sound at all. Maybe it doesn't go up. Would be scary. Give it time. Give it time. This is where patience is always key. So with the other one I have another pressure cooker, and then it's very different. It's like it locks in very differently, and it doesn't have a thing in the middle. So it has a little gadget on the side where you also see it rising, but it seems a little bit safer. So this one is a bit more, don't want to say, sorry, safe is the wrong word maybe, because I don't want to scare people off. It's actually not that scary. It's so commonly used. I saw this in India, I saw this in Italy, I saw people use it in Turkey, all over the world. Communities who've been cooking traditional food for decades, for centuries, they've used, maybe not centuries, used the pressure cooker, but for decades they've used this thing because it's so economic. It speeds up cooking, it makes it safer, it makes it healthier, it makes it easier, it makes it quicker, and it is really safe if you use this hack. So the hack I'm using here today is that you don't need to release the pressure. That's the scary sound that many people hate. You don't need to release the pressure, you just let it come to a certain pressure, and then you just cook it, and you turn off the heat. Sounds are happening? I think this is, so with the other pressure cooker I've got, there's a lot of sound at the beginning and then it dies down when it locks in. Let's see if that happens as well. Ah! There we go! Did you see that? Okay, we're in business. Sound went, that's amazing, that's so much fun. Sound went away, so basically it locks in there's a rubber band inside. It now locked in all of the steam, so nothing is escaping anymore. That's the moment when it builds pressure. That little thing has gone up, and there's 2 lines. Not visible yet, but there's 2 lines in there. And as the pressure builds, it's gonna increase. First line, certain amount of pressure. Second line, more pressure. We wanna have that second line. That's when the cooking time starts. That's when we know we're gonna hit the timer for 4 minutes for this dish, and then it cooks for 4 minutes. I said 5 minutes earlier, 4 minutes is enough. Crazy, okay. God. I'll leave it at this temperature, do I? Oh yeah. Oh, come on. Do you see the red line? Guys. It's so exciting, you can use something for the first time. I mean, this is obviously, it's supposed to do this thing, but if you use something for the first time and it's working as you imagined it to, it is exciting, it's fun, it's a little moment of happiness. So we've got the first line visible, so we're waiting for the second line. There it comes. Oh, that's a reflection. Little bugger. Okay. And we're waiting for the second line. God, I do want to keep a bit of this. If that blows up, it's not a fun thing. But it's I mean, has anybody ever who uses a pressure cooker? Has anything ever happened? It is usually really safe. Here comes the second line. Here comes the second line. So I'm going to turn down the temperature. I'm going to put a time on. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. So we can turn down the temperature to the lowest possible. Check out the second line. There it is. You see it? We've got 2 lines. We've got two lines. That's more intense than a World Cup. 2 lines, and that means our pressure is well underway. It's locked in. Our beans are cooking as we speak, and in 4 minutes time, we've got cooked beans in there. I then have to wait still So I can see now I have to regulate the heat a little bit. So this is where it takes a bit of getting to know your pressure cooker. You don't want it to, it's going down because the pressure or the heat is too low. So I'm just gonna bring it back up a little bit to keep it at that level, to keep the second line just visible. You don't want it too high. The moment it starts being too high, it's gonna release pressure and steam. It's gonna be loud and you think, shit, it's going wrong. The moment it's too low, it doesn't cook fast enough. So that's the sweet spot. You just gotta find that temperature. And then you keep it at that level. And that's a magical spot. So I'm just gonna hang out here with you and see what's happening. Maybe I can actually, in the meantime, let me check if this is working. If I'm now, I'm gonna join my own live. See, oh shit, see? So this is too much temperature. Live chat. I'm gonna see what you guys are up to. There, can now read your messages. So, where do we start? Wunderbar, that's it. You bought the same one, works like a charm. Well, this is working like a charm. This is actually pretty amazing. So we've got two lines. It's not going too far up. It's not going too far down. So perfect temperature at the moment. For anybody who's wondering, this one is the Kuhn Rikon. Kuhnrikon. Oh, beautiful. Right now I can see myself, which is amazing. It's very confusing though. Deze is veel spa. Il spas. That's a bit of Dutch. Are you complete vegan? Yeah, I am complete vegan. Your favorite Indian vegetarian dish? Oh, chana masala at home. That's one I cook a lot. If I've got a bit more time, vada pav, pretty intense, very cool. What else? Do you know about your long lost brother Franz Hermann? No, I don't. Who's Franz Hermann? Let me know. I'm very curious. What else do we have here? You just dropped by to say I love your content, dude. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Just checking my little pressure cooker doing a job. So it's giving up a bit of sound. Completely fine. You can sometimes see a puff of steam escaping here in the center. So it's regulating itself. If there's too much pressure, it releases it. So very nice. Got 1 minute left, and then it's already done. 1 minute left. I mean, who can cook beans in 4 minutes? This guy can. I already asked that one. I use it every day for cooking almost all my dishes in India. I've seen people use pressure cookers so much in India. It's amazing. It makes the most incredible dal. It makes, what do we cook with it? Rakta in Mumbai. Such a good dish. You can use it in pani puri and in other chaats. Other street foods. It was really, really cool. Why not an electric pressure cooker, Instant Pot? It's very different, I think. I never used an Instant Pot. To be completely honest, I just never used it. I don't quite know the same functions. I love with this one that I can put it, I love cooking with gas at the moment. And this one I can use on gas. I can fry off the base, put it on the lid. My timer's going off. Right. So let me this is a big moment because the timer is going off, so that means I can kill the heat. So no more heat, gas is off. And now you just leave this, and this is the amazing hack with a pressure cooker. This is the one that many people forget about when they hear pressure cooker. Now you just leave it to cool entirely. You don't have to release the steam. But, because it's fun, because we want to see what happens, I'm gonna give this a little dab. Whoa, okay. Hold on, so you could, if you cooked it for the full time, which would be 10-12 minutes, you would do this. This is actually amazing. Perfect. You could release the pressure this way, right? So you would do this now for like 30 seconds, whatever. All the pressure would be gone, and it would be done as well. But what you can also do, you can cook it for less, which I've done. So you don't cook it for the full 10-12 minutes, you cook it for 4 minutes and you leave it to cool. So you need less energy, you need less gas, and you don't have that sort of risky, seemingly unsafe moment where this pressure releases because you have to tap it on there. Which just makes it safer, it makes it easier. So you cook it for 4 minutes, you switch off the stove and you go away. And it's already here now, it's slowing down. it's not boiling anymore rapidly inside. The pressure is slowly decreasing. And once this thing is all the way down again, you can open the lid and your dinner is done. So that's pretty much what I wanted to check out and see if you guys wanted to take a look. Franz Herrmann, who is this? It's a famous racing driver from Germany. Totally on Max Verstappen. Okay, amazing. I'm gonna check him out. Cool. But yes, it would explode. Who's that? I'm missing the beginning of that chat. Sorry, somebody said that yes, it would explode, but I missed the beginning of what that references to. Cooking with gas is really responsive. Oh yeah, okay. Vegan biogas, same way burning wood is carbon neutral side of gin. Yeah, I mean, I agree that cooking with gas is it's a bit of this like, if you start cooking with it, it's really hard to give up. So I may be thinking about a switch to induction. I just can't get myself to do it just yet. It's just so much fun to be in control of that gas, you know, to crank it up, to reduce it. I know there's induction that does that at a similar speed these days, but tough transition. Have you tried erzoppa, yellow split pea and vegan ham soup? Made in the pressure cooker, so quick and easy. I haven't. Why is this channel called Baking Herman? Because my username Herman is not available. Somebody stole it. Come on. Baking Herman was what I started with on Instagram actually. When during lockdown I did baking classes. Herman is my sourdough starter. I'm called Julius. Baking Herman was the name of the sourdough class. So I started my Instagram channel, named the YouTube channel after it, blah, blah, blah. And then after a while, it wasn't about baking anymore. It was about so much more, about natural plant-based food from around the world. But the username wasn't available, Herman, only on Instagram. So I used it there. Don't use it on here, unfortunately. But hope you don't mind. Hope it still makes sense. Massaman is an amazing curry or dish. Can you cook more Turkish vegan food? I'm doing a lot of Turkish vegan food. I'm really obsessed. So just now today I filmed Boza, which is one of the oldest drinks in the world. A really historic millet drink, fermented millet drink. So I made that. Hey, it's a vegan guy. Yep, that's me. What's happening? Okay, cool. Do more stay 2-day cooking on induction and break out the camping stove when you need the responsiveness. Love that. So good. Yeah, I'm thinking about moving. Probably will need to use induction. And then I still have the camping stove to do exactly that. So I'm with you. Cook rice in a pressure cooker. Interesting. Thank you for finding that's a cool story. I'm just reading through and I'm really excited because people are joining and responding. But I'm gonna stop this live now because this was what it was all about. I wanted to show you or test it and see and show you how it works. But you can already now see, take a closer look, that we're back to one stripe on that little valve. So we were at 2 stripes, it's decreasing pressure, it's going down, it's gonna cool off. And by the time it's completely back down, dinner's ready. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm gonna cook. In the meantime, I'm gonna put on some pilaf, some Turkish rice. And that's my dinner tonight. And yeah, I'm probably gonna do another live next week. So tune in then. Not sure what it's gonna be yet. I'm probably just gonna chat you through what I'm filming. Because I usually film on a Thursday. But I'm gonna pick up this phone and tune, let me pick this up and I'm gonna tune out. But thank you so much. Please be careful, it can explode. Exactly. But hopefully I showed you that if you do it this way, first time using this pressure cooker, you had a quick glance at the manual, it's pretty straightforward. And if you use it with a bit of care, if you adjust the heat, you're fine. It's good. It saves so much time, it saves money. Hair's exploded. I'm tuning off. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Loved it. It was really fun. Thanks for the messages. Thanks for interacting. And much love to all of you. Honestly, it's so much joy to be on YouTube and to show you traditional dishes from around the world and to take you along on travels and to see how you guys respond on videos. I have nothing but love for you. So thanks for tuning in even now and responding and supporting. Peace. Love you. How do I get out of here? First live on YouTube, oh God. I think I found it. See you guys.